say thank you to WBSM and these great hosts. I mean, they've been around a long, long time, and they certainly understand how our community is impacted because they've been talking about it for a lot of years. But you know, I also want to say thank you to every one of you who are here today. And I look out and I think back in our history. Thank you. I liken this crowd here today to the patriots of old. You know, the most significant things that have happened in our country in times of difficulty, in times where we didn't feel that government was representing our interests. Those changes, those significant movements in our country started with a small group or a couple of individuals. And you who are here today represent exactly that in a different time in history to begin to move things back to the people's business. And you are all true patriots. And this isn't about being a Democrat, Republican, or Independent. This is about being an American. This is about our country. This is about the people that we put in there and blindly trust to represent us each and every day, that they will do the work of the people. They can't spend their time under the dome in Washington and Massachusetts or wherever talking about insider baseball while we're out here saying, wait a minute, we've got crime in our streets, we got police officers that are being assaulted, we have citizens who are trying to keep their neighborhoods safe and have a quality of life, and little or nothing's happening. Our costs are going up, and the thing I want to talk about right now is probably the most significant issue that is impacting the quality of life for each and every one of you and Americans and legal residents around this country, and that is illegal immigration. Let me tell you something. When I took my oath of office, I made a promise to the people, the legal residents, the citizens of the United States, in this county, that I would enforce the laws of this community, the Constitution, and of this state. And I've been called a xenophobe, I've been called a jackbooted thug, I've been called all kinds of things. And I'm going to tell you something. You know why it doesn't bother me?
On the right side.
Because of people like yourselves who are here today. Who remind me every day that I don't answer to the politicians. I answer to you. You are the people that put me in office, and Shauna and Jeff Neal and all the other elected officials who are standing up and saying, we're not interested in the games.
Right.
People have issues and problems, and it's not about politics, it's about the people. And you know, I will tell you, I've heard people say to me, you know, you're breaking up families by insisting that illegal immigrants follow the law. What do we say? What do we say to all the people?
Build the wall.
5 million people waiting behind their borders around this world to come to the United States. And all those who have already come, who are waiting their turn, who are waiting to reunite with their families, some of whom already came here legally, but waited their turn, respecting the laws of the United States of America, doing it the right way. The answer cannot be, well, you know what? Shame on you people who respected the laws of the United States. You shouldn't have waited. You should have just come on in, forget the laws, come on in, and don't worry about it. You know, I'm sick and tired of elected officials saying that it's okay for people to violate our laws. It's not. And they took the same oath I did. So here's the bottom line. When people come across our border, they talk about, well, you've heard this whole thing about, you know, when people are in our neighborhoods, they won't report crimes because they're illegal. You know what? If I robbed the bank tomorrow, and 3 days later I saw somebody break into a house and I hadn't been caught for robbing that bank, do you think I'm going to go to the police department and tell them someone breaking in a car down the street? Of course I'm not. Human behavior is such that people may not do that. But you know what? I also heard that the reason that we need illegals here in our communities to come forward is because it reduces crime and it makes our communities safer. That's why we need sanctuary cities. Listen to me. If you follow that line of reasoning, then we ought to encourage as many illegals to commit as possible because the whole country will be safer, right? Right? I mean, isn't that ridiculous? Look, I am not going to stand silent while elected officials tell you and me that, look, I'm going to decide as an elected official what federal laws I'm going to follow and which ones I'm not. That is not what America is about, and that's not what our justice system's about. And I think that's frankly why we have a new president in this country, because people are fed up of politicians deciding, hey, you take this health care plan that I got over here, you all need it. But we don't, because we're elected officials. We have to be under a different kind of plan. Look, enough's enough.
Right.
What we have to focus on now is what's right for the American people. And when I hear people saying, well, these kids are running from gangs and all that, really? Well, guess what? I don't hear you talking about where the kids in Chicago are going to run. Where do they go? Mexico? Ecuador? Where do they go? Where do they go? When are the people in this country going to stand up and take care of our own? And it's not that we're anti-immigrant. We're the most generous country in the world when it comes to immigration. But we just want you to follow our laws, and we want these elected officials to understand. Yes, if you violate 1324 of Title 8 of the U.S. Code, you need to have an arrest warrant issued against you like any other of your constituents would if they did the same thing. And I'm not gonna stand by, and I don't think any of us should. This is why it's important that you're here today. It can't just be us. It's all of us. And we have a right, it's a government by for the people. And you have an absolute right, you have a voice in all of this, and we need to join together and say, this is okay, but this is not. And all we're saying is, don't tell us that we have to live in communities and that criminals, and I don't know if you heard about this, just is about to be passed finally in California.
Oh, yeah.
They've just passed a sanctuary state law. And basically what this is saying, and this is the underlying point I want to get across to you. Basically what's happening is they're saying that law enforcement, local law enforcement, cannot contact their federal partners and tell them about somebody that has been arrested, it's for committing a crime, and notify them that they may potentially be somebody that ICE wants. Why in God's name would any elected official in the United States of America want law enforcement, local law enforcement, to have less tools in their toolbox than they otherwise could have by sharing intelligence with FBI, ICE, DEA? Look, we have federal task forces. We have task forces in this country, and we have people in Bedford, the sheriff's office. We all have people on these task forces. We do for a reason. Our frontier in law enforcement's changed, and we need to do more to be able to communicate so we can protect you. But we can't stand by and let elected officials say, you can't report this person who potentially may be a Muhammad Atta or one of the Zarnea brothers. You cannot report them as having committed a crime if they're here illegally. And I want to tell you what just happened to a trooper. I want to tell you what happened to a trooper just about almost 2 weeks ago in Washington State, which is a sanctuary state. Trooper gets a call, go to an accident scene, investigate an accident. He's on his way, he arrives there, he gets the 2 driver's licenses, he runs them through the computer. One of the driver's license information comes back, it says, this guy has been convicted of a serious felony, he's been deported twice, contact ICE, contact Immigration Customs Enforcement. The trooper grabs his cell phone, says, listen, I just ran this driver's license, this information came back, they told me to call you. They said, we'll be right there. They came over, they arrested the guy on the scene.
Good.
The next day, the trooper was notified by his department he was under investigation for violating policy by notifying ICE. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Who was that trooper trying to protect? You, every one of us.
Absolutely.
What were the 2 options that trooper had when he got that call? go to the scene, ran the information, contact ICE. Under Title 8, 1324, at that point, he needed to contact ICE or, as a law enforcement officer, commit a felony under 1324, which says it is a felony for anyone who knows someone to be in the country illegally to harbor or attempt to harbor and conceal them. This officer would have been accused of harboring and concealing by letting the guy go and not contacting ICE when he knew ICE wanted him. Or, the other option he had, do your job, uphold your oath and your promise to the people, and face disciplinary action from your department. That is not the America I know, and it's not the America you know, and we can't allow this to go on. Sanctuary cities undermine law enforcement. They create a slippery slope for this country where people will say, there's a special class of people. They don't have to follow the law, but the rest of you do. And you know what? That's not okay. And the last thing I want to say to you, for all these people who say you're a xenophobe for wanting to secure the borders, you're separating families. Look, you could accuse me for 20 years of separating families. I have people in my prison who are separated from their families. But you know what? I'm tired of the deflected sort of arguments that somehow it's the system and it's people like me or President Trump who wants to secure the borders or our Border Patrol people who want them secured and yada, yada, yada. It's our fault. We're the bad guys. No. The families are separated because the people made conscious choices to violate our laws and come into this country, and shame on them for doing it. We're targeting criminal illegal aliens in this country. That's what the president wants to do, and he's right for doing it. And we've been calling for it for a long time. We're not going around with sweeps looking for people who've overstayed their visas. That is not what's going on. But if you listen to these people who keep throwing the arguments out, you notice they never use the word illegal immigrant? I was chastised yesterday. I was chastised yesterday in a panel we had at New England School of Law. And I was chastised by a city councilor from Newton who was on the panel who said, that is so dehumanizing for you to use that word illegal alien or illegal immigrant. I said, really? I said, well, you know what? I suppose then that what we need to do, oh, 1 minute, okay. I could go on for days. It's a good thing he's telling me here. So I said, I suppose then that where we are now is, we should call someone that runs into a bank, robs the bank. We can't call him a bank robber. We got to refer to him as an unauthorized withdrawer. Right? This is how ridiculous it's got. But you know what? It's time to get back to the basics. We are a country of laws. If you come here and you violate the laws, you subject yourself to the potential of getting in trouble. That's what America was always built on. We're not anti-immigrant. We have to control the people coming in so we can control the amount of people in our schools to make sure we maintain a quality of education for the more immigrants who want to come here legally, and our kids to maintain their quality of education. And our children shouldn't be denied after-school programs and parents having to pay more because people won't follow our laws and they're coming in and being held to a different standard than we are. Right. What I will say to all of you is this. I would ask you to stand with us. Stand with America, who are with the majority. And I will tell you this last thing about the poll that just came out in San Francisco, in California. 74% of the people in California do not want sanctuary cities. Over 2/3 of the Democrats in California do not want sanctuary cities. 70% of the independents don't want sanctuary cities, and over 50% of the Hispanic community do not want sanctuary cities. They all get it. It's about public safety, it's about following the rule of law in this country, and we are not going to change the America that our forefathers gave us, that gave us all the opportunities we had, and those who want to follow the rules, who want to come here and live a good life. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. Keep up the fight. We'll win. Chair Hodgson.
And let's not lose flex.